S4, S4, S2, and S5, S4. All correct? Correct not? Now you do this, you can do using the method, either this method or you can actually use the diagram to do also. You can get the answer from the diagram also. For example, if you do this S1, right? A, B, B, S1. So you can start from S1 and then this is the input A. S1 input A go to where?
S1.
After input A go?
S1.
S1, right? Okay. So here you just write S1. And then S1 go to B. Input B go to?
S0.
S0. And S0 input B?
S4.
S4. So you get the same answer here, S4. Right? Now, it's up to you which method you want to do. Either you do this one or using this function. The answer you get will be the same also. So that is a word transition function. Now the next part will be the more machine. 9 o'clock already. Do you need a break? Okay, later I will continue with the more machine. The answer for this one, the tabulated here, this answer is the same with this, the table that I write here. Okay, this table is the answer for this part.
它是 ABB， 你把它圈后面变 BBA。那就是一个 method， 就好像你有做 F， 好像 FG 啊，你都是做 G 后面的线，跟一样道理的是你 FAB 嘛，你是做后面的 B 线，所以它就倒反这样子，就不要看。它的封面这是格式。遇到这个情况，最都是就是给它从后面开始，从后面开始做。7FG 从后面。所以你 FGX 啊，你是先做 GX 才做 FX，所以它就这个是 GX，我就给它倒反过来。
讲这个是怎么是0104
这好像是一个，因为它是 class， 它把它组成一个，好像这个还是一个它们组在一起嘛，所以这是一个 class， 这个 class， 这个 class。然后老师讲，通常 class 它是以第一个的 element 为名字，它的名字嘛，所以好像第一个 class 它是 S0哦，第二个 class 是 S1、S2，然后好像是 S0它加 A 的话，它是比如说 S0加 A 还是 S0啊，它是属于第一个 class 嘛，所以你就写那 class 的名字 S0了。这样比如说好像特别一点，这个 这个 S5，比如它是，它只有3个 class 吧，
这样这么 B 的是 S 的，哦，就04。
是。
哦。
S 是做一个组。
然后 S 就是
S 是一个 class。
然后 B 的话是 SB 的话是3的话是
3就 SE 哦。
3是 SE。
因为它把它好像 SE S3 S5把它组成一个，所以你好像你加 A 或 B 只要它是属于里面的话，它就是 SE。
哦，就是里面啊，就3和5就是
属于里面就 SE。
哦，
就属于那个 class。
我讲这个怎么这个是这样？
就是这个你懂，一定要懂哦。然后你就这个 FA 的意思就是你把的input of A 就是你 S0 加 A 的意思，所以你 S0 加 A 哦是 S0 嘛，所以它就是 S0 哦，所以 S0 加 B，
S0 加 B 就是
S0 加 B 就是可能 S4，然后就也是一样 S4就加 B 就等于 S3，就这样做下来。
然后这个就下面这也是要做。
这些是一样的，就是你把它打写进去了。
OK，只不过把后面这换掉吧是吗？
没有，这个是他打的，就 S0 它经过 FABB 它就是 S3。
然后这个是 ABB， 然后这个变成 BPA， 这个是 B。
这是它格式来的。
这是 BPA 的，不是 BPA。
在 FABB 这个function的意思就是，其实没有写这一行，没有，其实比如说我会写这一行，
就它的 formula。OK。
我们就是直接从后面 B 开始，不后面 B， 所以这 A 开始。
所以它遇到这个情况都是直接从第一个工具就有别人。你刚教了一个时候，那你也不明白还陌生人。那边已经长了。所以这样过做下面这边也是，就是用BBA 去找，BBA 然后这样子叭下去。那边7分钟啊。
好像刚刚关的。太神奇了，这个也是谁手？这种人。
你觉得好看吗？
很流。
你觉得好看？觉得不是很好看。
有些照片 OK， 但是有些就怪怪。
就是这个人是良心掉的脸，这么讲究。
就他笑到有点 unnatural 吧，这 OK 啦。
这张 OK 啊，这张 OK。
因为还有笑。
这张就有点怪怪的，不自然。
就如果他微笑就没有这样，这 OK，
这个 OK。因为我戴着墨镜，没有，为什么你懂得？
这个就这种微笑，就我觉得没有这样，
好像还是阿姨，
因为他的这里大，
他这很高是不是？
还要笑，
他又很瘦，所以他这个照片哦，他这边传一个，
没有无法换，
他太瘦了，然后所以他觉得自己漂亮，他就跟我讲，我朋友把我拍到很，
可能他的发型的问题也是。
就飞方球在海南，他就
你忘讲他朋友坏话，
我的朋友在猜，为什么呢？
我说，
这人这样子，没有这人能监听
因为他 post 在 YouTube 你全部人去听，这很不是，我还在讲啊，
这两个讲坏话讲就大生气。 好，观众们，记得订阅。对不起。
看到这个课程的人，
我们用了什么？诶，多少钱啊？我们一个课777块，这堂课是诶，你没有还学费就这样。
是什么意思啊？
对不起。哎，777，
很贵耶。
777块课就这样讲，我听到了。
是报好像这7现在没有这样好，应该报。
888的课被你听到了。真的是我们111。可恶！
为了好听去减肥。
888。
我觉得666比较好。
哇
666。我觉得这免费啊。
是吗？000更好。
000更好。
第一好，从头开始。
你要讲了，我看起来你要从头开始学。他录下一切。
没有，我觉得伟松会直接 skip 了，所以他中间不会听到什么。
我觉得伟松是这整段放上去的。
是啊，但是他听啊，他就直接。
我家会停。
会没？
我家不但会停。我们来赌伟松会不会停？
可以学伟松说升级。
师姐，不要撞好了。
不要内卷了，升级。对不起，
对不起。三姐看不下去了。
没有啊。
伟松不要睡啊！伟松不要睡啊！
伟松早安，伟松。
晚上才看。
伟松晚上好。
伟松，你 WiFi OK 吗？
不要内卷了，伟松。
不要内卷了，太卷了你。啊？你要过来这边跟伟松讲。video call 伟松。
Okay, let's continue with the more machine. Now, just now we have the stat set, input set, and the stat transition function, right? And we know that the starting stat will be the S0, which is the starting stat, and that is the condition where the machine just started. Then after that, what we need to know is every time when you give input to the machine, you need to make sure that the input can be understood by the machine. If the input is not understood by the machine, then they cannot produce output, isn't it? So in order to have the input that can be understood by the machine, we need to have the input string that can go to the acceptance stat. Meaning that whenever your input string can reach to the stat, which we call it as the acceptance stat, then the machine will understood, it can convert and produce to the output. So what is the acceptance stat here? The acceptance stat is like the normal stat that we have, but once you reach that stat, the input automatically can understood by the machine already. But if you only reach halfway, you only reach S3, where S3 is not the acceptance stat, then that input still cannot produce any output because the machine still not yet reached to the acceptance stat, so it cannot understand what is the string. Okay? Now, in order to go to the acceptance stat, the symbol that we have for the acceptance stat is T. In the set that we have just now, if you have a set T, it refers to the acceptance stat. Okay? Now, the difference between the acceptance stats and the other stats is when you draw in the diagram, let's say S5 is the acceptance stat, so you need to draw it with a double circle. Just now, the diagram that we draw for all the stats, we only draw with one circle, right? But if it is the acceptance stat, you need to draw with double circle. Remember, So we have 5 components for the mole machine. You have S, I, F, S0, and T. You have extra one more now, which is the acceptance set for the Moore machine. And then it is, do you still remember I said chapter 2 had the relation with chapter 4? Which the language of the grammar, it is actually related to this language of the machine. The concept is the same, where you have to get until the terminal symbol, right? To get the input, the language of the grammar, you must go out, correct? Huh? See, this one also the same. The language of the machine is the input string that you start from the starting state until the acceptance state. That is the language of the machine. Okay? And in the middle, of course, you can have a loop also, like the LG. So this one, we represent it as LM. And we will look at the example, how to do this. Huh? Now, let's say you have a Moore machine with these 5 components here. S, all the stats, S0 to S2. Input, you have A and B. And the T, which is the acceptance state, is S2. Now, they give you the state transition function in this table, and they ask you to draw the state transition diagram. This one should be no problem, right? So we just draw the diagram first, and later on, we will see what is the string that is in LM. So we have 3 states now, S0, S1, and S2. S0 after the input A, it will go back to S0. Then input B, go to S1. S1 you have 0, 2. And S2 is 2, 2. A and B are both go back to S2. So we no need to draw twice. We only draw one loop, and then you write both the input, A and B, right together. Which one is the acceptance state? S2, right? So S2 we need to draw with the double circle. Okay, after you have this diagram, then they ask you to describe the input strings that are recognized by M, meaning that what will be the input string in order that the machine can recognize. Give example of some strings in LM and some strings not in LM. Meaning that what are the strings that we can have start from S0 until S2? Can you give me some example which is in LM? Yes? Example which is LM string? A, BB. This is belongs to LM. Agree? Because the A here, B here, B here, right? As long as you can go to the acceptance state, then the string will be in the LM. Any more? What is the shortest string we can have? Shortest? B, B. B, B. Shortest, right? If you don't go to the loop A, you don't go back A here, you can straight away go B, B. That is the shortest in the LM. Of course, we can have A, B, B, A. In LM or not? some example that is not in LM? Example that is not in LM? A. Any more? Some more? Not in LM? A, B, A. How about BAA? Is it in LM? BAA in LM or not? No, ah? Okay. Now, what is the conclusion you can make from here? How do we know that very fast if a string I give to you, let's say for example, B, A, B, A, A, B. Very fast you see from here, you know it is in LM already or not. How? Do you need to go through one by one? B, A, B, A, A, B. Do you need to do like this? B, A, B, A, A, B. Can we just see from the string itself, we know already the conclusion whether it is in LM or not? Yes? Can, right?
Can.
Yeah. So by looking at the input string given, B here, as long as you have two consecutive B together in your string, then you can say that it is in LM. Okay? Okay, so you just write the conclusion here lah. Any two strings that consist or that contains two B together is recognized by the machine. Can we write the LM like the LG for this example? Now, the loop is still the same, use the asterisk to write. So how to conclude the overall possible string that we can have from the diagram here? Start from S0. What are the possible ways that we can have in order to go to S2? Write it in a general format for LM. Like the LG, in your master diagram, how do we write the LG? Do the same for this. Write in the regular expression format. Loop using the asterisk. You can put a bracket, you can put the alternative or. For this one, can you try to write? So this, the one that we are doing now is describe the input string that are recognized by M. We want to do this. The example of the string in LM and not in LM, we already done here. Okay? Now you need to do this. Describe the input strings that are recognized by M, which is any two strings that contains 2B together. That is how you describe the input string that can be recognized by the machine. Okay, so here, extra information is how to write in LM in the regular expression format. If they say in the sentence like this, how do we want to interpret in the form of regular expression? Write it in the asterisk, in the bracket, in the all form.
有点冷。
可以吗？不是这样写啊。
去了这里，然后又回来，然后再去这样，这样觉得，所以你还是说。
可是老师给的选的 slide 是 SPG。
就是 A O B， 它就是 A
还最重可以一直重复
A 是重复吧，所以就 A A B
啊，然后我就想，它可以选择一直 round 这个 loop，所以是而且是一个 set 是 A， 然后一直从 A B， 这是一个是主嘛，所以就挂号在一起。
A loop B 挂号，然后这个 A O B 是 A O B
不是这 L B 是这样的。
这不是手语的这个。
啊 A 星嘛去 B， 这是一次，然后几次还可以一直转，所以我就放一个 C。
然后就 S1 去 S2 总会经过 B， 然后再 A O B。
是这样想。
是听起来。
Exactly.
那你就 A strict A strict 然后 A B strict 然后 my shortest line B B
A B, not necessary. You don't have 2B. 我也是。
傻眼。可是你这个的意思是跟我这个东西，我就是 S A 回去 S A 意思不是？
The string here, A must be a loop, right? So we have A as string. Go to the B here. Then what happened at S1? Can go back or not? You can go back or you go to B, right? Now, if let's say we consider we go back first, then the A, it will be the A asterisk B, you will follow by A, right? If you go back. So here will be A. That means A asterisk B A, and when you go back to S0, it will repeat the same thing like just now again. So it can have a loop of A again, then B A again. Keep on repeating the same thing. So this whole thing can be a loop. Right? A asterisk B A asterisk B A asterisk B A. Loop whole thing. And then if let's say at the S1 here I don't go back, meaning that from the start I can have A asterisk B come to S1 without going back the A again. So I will have A asterisk B. At S1 I will go to B here and I reach S2. So when I reach S2, I can have a loop back again for the A or B, right? This input here can only choose one. Either you loop the A or you loop the B. So you can keep on looping at this part. That means I can have A or B as 3. Anyone write like this? So this one is the LM that we can write for this diagram. Now we will look at the relation between the grammar, language of the grammar, and the language of the machine. Now we can construct a phrase structure grammar for this. Remember we have the component of I, V, V0, and the substitution relation. This is the non-terminal. This is the starting state, which is V0. Go back to your chapter 2 again. And the I now will refer to the input A and B. The V, which is a non-terminal, will consist of the input string. This is the input combined with the stats. So non-terminal in this case will include the input string and also the stat set. All the stats with the input considered as the non-terminal. And you have the V0 start with S0. Now we will try to write this in the B and F notation, where the non-terminal we will put it in the bracket, right? Okay. So here we will start with V0. What is the This one we will start with what? What is the non-terminal here? If you look at the set given here, what is the non-terminal? They give you the I is the input string, so the I consider as the terminal here, and the non-terminal is the terminal combined with non-terminal. Which one is a non-terminal here? Huh? The V include the terminal and non-terminal, right? Remember? And now they give you the input is A and B, meaning that this is the terminal, and the non-terminal in this case is S. Yes. So all the stats will be the non-terminal, and we will put all the stats in the bracket. B and F, remember B and F? Okay. So now the first one we have this S0. We have A. Go back S0, right? This one, the diagram here. A, go back S0. So we will write the first one is A, S0. And then at the S0 itself, we can also go to B, S1. Correct? The input B go to S1. So there is alternative here. You can go to B, S1. What happened at S1? A go back to S0. So we have A, S0. Or any other? B go to S2. Any others? Can we go out after this B? After the S1? Can we go out after S1? Okay? What should the input string we have if we want to terminate after S1? What should be the input string? If you look at this, S1 here, if you go to B, S2, it is not a terminal, right? You need to stop here, then only terminal, correct? So, B, S2, you still have a non-terminal there, S2. Meaning that your S2 still need to replace with the string again. But how do I want to stop if I want to stop at S? This step is after S1. I want to stop. What is the input string I need to receive? Only the input B, right? Because S1 after the input B, it will go to S2, which is the acceptance step, correct? So if I only have input B, then I can stop already. So here you have another alternative, which is B. Okay? And what happened at S2? How many different alternatives we can have? If you look back, then you have A, S2. You can have B, S2. You can have A. You can have B. Right? How to draw the master diagram? If you already have this as consider, this one consider as your B and F now. Okay? if you already have the BNF, can you refer to this BNF and draw the master diagram or not? The S0, S1 is like your V0, V1 last time. Okay, and this A and B is considered as last time is what? Also AB, right? Okay, so you have a master diagram, draw it here. The answer is here, in your notes. You draw here. I will draw here, so that I can refer this. So how to draw the S0 now? Start from this starting state S0. We will have a look back to S0, right? This one, you can have a look back S0. Then you can go to BS1. And at the S1 here, you can go back to S0 again. Go back S0, or you go to BS2. Now, after the B here, it can go up already. This one, the B. But if you go to BS2, that means at the S2 here, you can have alternative to loop AS2 or BS2 again. Right? So, we can have another loop here, which is A, S2, or here, B, S2. Maybe some of you can have a different ways to draw. If you want to share the A here, then you don't need to draw two. You can have a look back here and then join the A here. Then it will go back to S0 also. Depends on yourself. Huh? How do you want to draw the master diagram? You already know this is the non-terminal, so you put the input only. In the master diagram, we only draw the terminal, which is the input string for this case. Okay, so AS0 is going back to this non-terminal first starting point here. BS1 is going to the S1, and as you know, the BS1 will bring you to the right. That's why this B must be on the line. And then at the S1 here, which is this position, S1, you can have three alternatives. The first one is you can go back to AS0. So you can go back AS0, or you can go to BS2, and this will bring you to the right. That's why the B here is on the line. Then you will go to S2 here, BS2. And then if you want to terminate after the B, then you can straight away go up. Okay, after the B, straight away go up. And at the S2 itself, here, which is after the B, here, S2, you can have a loop back to S2 itself. Either you loop the A or you loop the B. So that means at S2 here, if you loop A, then you go up here. If you loop B, then you go down here. Both also go back to S2. And if you want to go out through A or B, then you go to the loop once, go out. Because you are at S2 now. Okay? And if you want to go out through the B, go to the loop B and go out. So that means if you look at the master diagram here, the only string that we must have is BB. Correct? The rest are all the loop alternative, either you want to loop or not. So BB is the one that we have just now. Remember, we described the LN. How do we describe the LN just now? You say any two strings that contains 2B together is recognized by the machine, right? So master diagram also the same. They also will have the same LG as what we described here. 2B. Okay? Now, if let's say we want to write the LG refer to this master diagram, what will you write? LG.
Có xí nhân. Đây là cái không tôi cái này là
但是没有说，他可能否
一下子开，
一下子开。
正常他一做理错，对对对，正常他这个烦恼。
有一些是烦恼。
这是我以前还要 test 那 MPU
这样。
马上 test。
下个星期要交还。
这个礼拜。
你下个礼拜
本来我们接受挑战好像是 V10，可是 V9就交了。我真的会去拿的。大家一起。
有交，有交希望。就发自己看，就发自己看。
So what is the LG for this master diagram? What is the LG? A loop. You still remember your LG or not? Yes. A loop then?
B.
Huh?
B.
A loop.
B.
B.
The whole loop.
Come B. What happened after B?
Go back. Can choose to go back.
Can choose to go back A.
Then,
Right?
Then the same.
What happened if you come back A?
A loop and B again.
A loop again, right?
Yes.
So it will come back to this again, correct? Then B A again. So this whole thing loop. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have A loop, B A, and then loop again A, B A. So the whole thing here will be loop. But remember, if we put a loop here, it means that I can have nothing for this. If I don't loop this, then I don't have any string, right? Then how do I get the 2B? It is possible that when I get the loop A just now, I go to B, I don't go back to A, right? So when I go A asterisk B, I will loop the A, I go to B without going back to A. Because if you go back A, then you will come here already lah. Come to the first one. So if you don't go back A, then you will go to B. So the first one is A loop B, then you come here. At this point, if you don't go back A, you go B, so you will have a B here. And what happened after this?
A or B.
A or B loop. So at S2, at S2, the loop is for the S2 or B S2, meaning that you want to loop the A or B or not compulsory. Because actually at S1 itself, you can go up already. At S1 here, after the input B, it is terminate already. This part. So this B, 2B here is already the correct string. The rest is just the alternative. Either you loop the A or not. Okay? Is it the same with just now that one? This one you can put either bracket or not, doesn't matter because the asterisk is only for the A, and then the B go here, and then the other B. It's up to you. No bracket also no problem because it is continuous. So you see the this one is to tell you that what do we need to put in the bracket for the non-terminal. This is the present state, which is your S0, S1 and S2. And then this is the input, which is our A and B. Input, the resulting state. What will happen after the input? A, so it will go back S0, then you write the resulting state here. Okay. If you have alternative, then you put the straight line here, followed by the input 2, which is the second input, like this, B, and what is the resulting state? S1. Okay, so this is the general form to tell you how to write in the BNN format for the language of the machine. Previously, you already familiar with the non-terminal in B0, B1, B2, right? But now, in the machine here, we use the stats. So that means the non-terminal will be all the stats. And the input string is the same like the language of the grammar, where you have A, B, or you have 0, 1, that are all the input. So we no need to put them in the bracket because they are the terminal symbol. Okay? So the relation is the non-terminal with the stats in this chapter. This is the master diagram we have drawn in here. And the LG I also written already here. This LG is this. Okay, and this one, the symbol that we have used, same like the chapter 2, alternative, asterisk and the bracket. We call this as the regular expression. So if they ask you to write the LM or LG, we will write it using the regular expression. So LM and LG are equivalent. You must have the same LM and LG. Either you draw it in the diagram or you draw it in a master diagram. Okay, any question? Now this one is to determine whether the language can be recognized by the machine or not. So we will continue this in our next lecture with the rest of the parts for this chapter. Okay, so far the today one, can you understand? Recognize the machine. Okay, then we stop here for today.
边讲师。
你们是回你是回
这样子很好，我想在这很长课。
等下你有没有跑？
需要参加课。有没有说是有？就是 MPU 的学。
这不可能。今天有力，好看。
结束了，尾收。
回收起来了。现在睡了尾收。尾收，拜拜。